I like it.
Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert with the TED Show. I'm super excited to have CPRG, who bring you back to life. The entire Combs Premier Realty Group here. Maybe not the entire, but the representatives here. I've got Tamara Combs to my left, Emmitt Combs, Roosevelt Augustin. See, I said it right, Augustin. Scott Bryant and Tramayne Wright. Super excited to have them on the show. We've been having a great time kind of starting this out. They have so much great energy, and it's fun and it's inventive and creative, and they obviously have created a culture in their office where that is an important part of what they do. So welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
All right, so they love to, I'm very excited to have you guys on. I think you're doing so much great stuff on social media. Your social media presence really is reflective of the things that you are trying to do out in the market. And I love the fact that it's not just creative, but it's energetic and fun. And it actually gives you a glimpse into some of the things that you are doing on a daily basis that are outside the 9 dots of the real estate world, which can be applied to all businesses. So enough of me talking. I want them to introduce themselves. Tell us a little bit about you. We'll start with Tamara. Tell us a little bit about you and how you got here.
Hi everyone, so my name is Tamara Combs. I am the wife of Mr. Emmitt Combs. I actually came on board to the team a little over a year ago after leaving corporate America for about 10 years in total. So one of the things that I kind of bring to the table is just that whole corporate structure into our team, and just ensuring that we have the systems in place to allow us to accelerate our business and continue to grow. And then also just coming on board with the team as well, just ensuring that we have a really good, solid team dynamic. As Ted mentioned, we like to have a lot of fun, so everyone that's on the team we consider family and we treat it as such. I personally think that in order for our business to grow and elevate, we just have to create that fun, loving family environment, and that's exactly what we do and what we offer. So that's me, Tamara Combs.
See, that's why you're front and center.
I
She
know,
went right
right?
into it, right?
I did.
That corporate mode, that was it.
I
There's
did,
no
I had
coupons.
to. No, absolutely not.
I told read my script last night.
Whatever. I came so unprepared.
No, that was so on point. It was so good.
You know,
All right, how about you, Emmitt?
So I'm Emmitt Combs. I'm the broker with Combs Premier Realty Group.
The real real estate minute.
The Mr. Real Estate Minute.
Shade.
Real.
But you know, my dynamics is a little bit different than most. I started this journey because of things that I felt that lacked, especially in the real estate. Man, he came to the team and like he be checking these numbers, and those are the things that I care nothing about. My whole vision is more so about the impact. It's more so about helping changing people's lives. A lot of the things that go unnoticed, we emphasize and we highlight those, because a lot of times it really has little to do with the actual real estate transaction itself and more to do with the people who are being impacted. Yes. So those are the things that I care more about. And then outside of that, just leaving that aspect alone, but the people who are inside of our ecosystem, meaning the agents, the families involved, I care like greatly about their well-being, because I feel like if people buy into it, they're adding value into the ecosystem, they need to receive the same type of return and benefits so their family well-being is very important to us. So these are like a lot of things that I wanted to bring to the environment of the culture that we've created. So I protect that a lot. And so it's a lot of people that sit on the other side of the table with me on the day-to-day basis that may not see that same vision, and we're fine with that because that's not our like priority. So from my dynamics, what we brought to the table is just something that everybody can sort of win from, but it's not geared on numbers, just geared on impact. So I just wanted to create something that I felt was missing. I mean, I know everybody could, look at a certain situation and find something that's perfect for them, but that's why it's important to find a dynamics that fits your culture.
Absolutely. And you can tell, very good. See, he brought it. I love it because you can tell with the way you all interact with each other that you've established that. You can't fake it. That's why I love live, right? So you can't fake that kind of energy and camaraderie that you guys have. And I think it's so important. I wish more businesses would focus on what Emmitt was just saying, and you too, Tamara, on how important that is to the success of your business. Really,
Yes.
you're creating this family environment, this safe environment, this creative environment, and I love every bit of it. All right, so Roosevelt, we'll go back to you. Wait, oh, did I skip Scott? I'm sorry, I wasn't looking who was behind me.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
We can switch it up.
Switch it up. Sorry, Scott. We skipped right over Scott. My bad. I wasn't paying attention to who was behind me.
Next.
No,
Scott.
I want you to explain how you met us. And
Oh,
that was
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So pretty much I just transitioned to Central Florida, and I came from Tri-County. So for those of you who may not know, it's big county, Palm Beach, and as well as Broward. So I've been an agent for a few years now, and I started following Emmitt because he also has an office down south. So and I kind of like my whole mindset is I am also of Haitian descent, so I do speak Creole, Sakpase, to all my Haitian people. So my whole mindset was to continue to educate my people and serve them. Although we do love education, but a lot of us don't know how to own. We don't know how to invest. We don't know how to build that legacy to be able to pass it on to another generation. So when I started following them, which is, my wife, she's actually the one that was eyeing them the whole time. Because they have that instinct,
You're
so
right.
They do.
We do.
I agree.
and she thought when I transitioned to Central Florida to expand my business, she thought it would be a great idea if I could actually join the family. So and we are a family, so we do hang out outside of work. And Scott actually he'll come to the office just to hang out with me, because sometimes I go to the office to work, and he lives all the way in Lakeland. So
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's pretty much to continue to serve the community and to educate, and so people won't just get into a property or get into an investment that they have no idea about. So that's what it's all about.
You have a passion for people. I love that. I'm taking care of them. How about you, Scott? Sorry about that.
Oh man.
I'm sorry, man.
Scott,
I wasn't looking who's. I know Tramayne's behind me, but I didn't know how the other ones were going back.
I'm born and raised in Lakeland, Florida. How I met Emmitt was through a mutual friend. I began to follow Emmitt. Reached out to him. He responded back immediately. I just really was inspired by what he was doing, what he was really just showing. I think there's a scripture in John 20. It basically says, those who can believe without seeing will be blessed. So I actually switched brokerages. I joined Emmitt, and it's been a life-changing experience. He's been a mentor of mine. I really ask him 100 questions, and he's a mentor. He's a friend. He's a leader. He's consistent. We call him a robot.
Trying to be
Non-stop.
So what I would say is, if I wanted to emulate anybody that could inspire me to be somewhat successful, I wanted to be, someone close to him. So I'm glad that he opened up the door, him and Tamara, and we've got the team. This is just only a fraction of us, but I can just say that, just being on this team has done so much for me and my community as well, because, from where I'm from, football, sports has been a big way out. And I've seen that, I can feel it. It's something in the air that's changing. We're inspiring people, and that's what we preach. Educate, provide options, and then provide real results. So, I'm glad to be on this team, have a platform that I have right now, and I just feel so blessed for all the lives that we're impacting and the lives that we're going to continue to impact.
I love it. That was great.
Great one. Good
All right,
job.
Tramayne, last but not least.
Set it off, sir.
I said it all.
All right, so how did I meet him?
Oh, don't tell that story.
Are you gonna tell that story?
I hope you tell it.
Oh my God.
I didn't meet him because he left me at L house.
Oh my God. So you're gonna tell the story?
I guess we're telling it.
I'm just playing though, but I will say, I didn't start out with Emmitt Combs from the beginning. I did know about Emmitt Combs. I would say for the personal stuff that I do, that Emmitt Combs, the brokerage beforehand, before we switched, had the same passion, desire that I had, and I never met him and spoke to him like I do now, because we're like my brother basically. That I could see through all his video, all the work that he did without me even speaking to him. I met with him 3 different times on 3 different occasions, and on the 3rd time it was mine. That's when I signed on the dotted line. And from that moment on, me and my wife life has changed drastically, moving upwards.
I love it.
My biggest thing about me is I'm a content creator, so I call myself a content realtor. And what I like to do is bring things to life, basically through visuals, and that's what we're about. You know, we want to make sure that everybody sees that what we're doing and we're making a huge impact in the community all over Central Florida. And we're not able to do that if we're not all working together as one. And that's one thing that we do. We strive of being together as one. We communicate, we work together. We're not big on as a team because we all as a team. We'll never be successful if we have independent teams within a brokerage. So we all work together as a team, because you'll see more results and more impact when you see all of us working together as one. To win championships, you have to have the right individuals. And I know before Emmitt, till we got to this point, before we made the name change to Combs Premier, now we were able to win championships because we had developed the starting 5 and we had developed the roster behind us for us to continue to move forward and make a big impact in this community. So the content that you see, you continue to see content from us. We're going to be innovative, we're going to be creative. That's one thing you're going to always see from us, and we're always going to change people's lives every single day. From this moment here that more people hearing about us, and to the day after, you're going to see more of us coming out there, helping out people, our seminars, all the innovative things, the creative things we're going to do. It's going to continue to keep on happening. If you're going to be with us or not, you're going to see us continue to change people's lives.
Why is that? That was beautiful. Yes, I love it. I think all of you are kind of saying the same thing in your own way. You want to make an impact on the community. You want to make an impact on your community and other communities and on individuals within the community because of what you're doing. Why? How did that become a focus? Was it always part of your business plan, or did you guys go, look, I realize this is something that I can do because I want to make a difference, and then that you just kind of incorporate it? Because you do. You have business. You have seminars. You're really talking to people. When you all go live, if you haven't followed their social media, we'll tag it all again. But you want to watch what they're doing because they're really talking to you. They're not talking at you. And I think it's so important that you're sharing your knowledge because you're storytelling.
It's natural.
So
it comes natural.
for one, like there are no limits, right? So when we see somebody with creative talent, first thing we do is we release their wings. We want them to be creative and innovative, and we just get behind them and support their ideas 100%. And we try to create an environment for them to fly. We want every individual to build their own platform. But one thing we do reiterate on our weekly calls is digging the well before you're thirsty, finding ways to add value. Don't try to pay for relationships. You have to create them genuinely. Yes. You can never pay to play the game and ever win successfully. I'm never big on numbers because I don't like to pay to fluff numbers or anything like that. I look at lives. How many lives can we impact? Right. I don't really care about the numbers. I know a lot of people do. I don't care, never cared about them. So when it comes to like everybody have the same message, because everybody's trying to do the same thing. Dig the well before you're thirsty. You don't want to go and look for water when your cup is already dry.
Right. Love
And
that.
another thing off that I want to say is basically he is correct. We're not going to pay for anything. Where everything that we do is we're going to be organic. Everything's organic. They've seen us. They've seen how we talk. They see how we look. So if anybody's going to work with us, they have seen it.
Right.
So it's nothing. When we talk to somebody, they already know who they're dealing with, regardless if it's me, Scott, Roosevelt, Emmitt, or Tamara. They know that they're dealing with CPRG at the end of the day, and they know that we're making an impact. We're changing your life, whoever that person over on that phone or the person across that table when we're meeting with.
And so, and it's also important to also understand that when you're dealing with a team dynamics, it's like the weakest person on the team that's the focal point. So it's always about educating the weakest person on the team, so therefore the weakest can become the strongest. Like you can't have a team dynamics when you have a weak end or a weak link within the team. So it's very important to focus on that, and that's one thing that we do focus on. All the weak areas that we may have, yes, there's a lot of business models that only focus on the strengths and whatnot. We do emphasize the strengths, but it's very important to focus on those weak areas. So therefore everybody can win, because families are important, not just families that are buying the homes, but also families on the other side, because that is important. People's futures are important, not just for today, but for tomorrow.
I love that. All right, I have to ask you, it seems to be you're the one that is the driving force. They keep talking, Emmitt, about how you motivate them, how you've accepted them, Tamara too. But you obviously had this vision. Where did it come from? Did you grow up in a family where you had the vision and you learned it, or is it something that you've just developed over the years? So I think a lot of people are afraid to express their vision. You obviously have no problem doing that, which is very powerful. But a lot of people would probably want to know, where did it come from?
So I do have a vision, very, very clear vision. You know, I want to say the vision came from the lack of when I was starting out. Yes, my background. So I'm originally from Atlanta. I don't have a like that silver spoon type background, right? I've been through a lot, and everything. I always say, if you follow my social media, you hear me talking about a lot of things, and everything that I talk about from my own experience, right? I talk about how it transformed my life, how I learned from it. I talk about L's, but not L's as in losses, but L's as in learning lessons. And I always use that to be able to give me a different vision. And I talk about, you know, as you elevate in life, the views you may have had on certain situations or circumstances, it changes because the viewpoints changes. So therefore, as your views change, as you elevate in life, you have to change your views in order to conform about, like, from where you're looking at now to how you see things in its perspective. So for me, growing up and noticing the lack of, and a lot of it was the lack of support, the lack of people being creative. You know, everybody's trying to conform to somebody else's perspective. And I feel that if we have a clear enough vision, and that vision has real purpose of making an impact and a difference to other people who may lack the vision and may lack the voice, then that vision can become a voice for them. That vision become a real true sight for them, to where they don't have to conform to other people's views of what life should be, other people's views of what we need to grow up to be. We can create our own life, we can create our own vision, we can create our own ecosystem. But when you sit down with somebody at a table, you have to know what that is, because if not, they will sell you theirs.
That's correct.
Right.
I love that. I think what I hear the most, what I'm most moved by or motivated by, is that you have this amazing business, you're successful, but it's still about impacting the community and impacting lives. And I think a lot of businesses make the mistake of, it's the numbers. Look, we all have to eat, we all have to pay our mortgage, our rent, our car payments, we all have to take care of our families. But the way that you all focus, you're focusing on making it better for your community and making it better for the people that you work with. And so that's a very, my words, selfless approach. And I love that, because I think that that is where you're planting those seeds. You mentioned scripture earlier. I'm a man of faith, and so I believe that you plant those seeds, and you're going to get rewarded so much more by doing it the way that you all are approaching it, I think.
Absolutely.
And so what's the vision for the social media? Because I think a lot of people, when I started posting and I did, people reached out and said, wow, they have the coolest social media. They're really, it looks like they're always on. How do they build that into their day? And how do they make it look so easy and pretty? So
Well, first of all, I'll say one thing about social media. It's not as easy and pretty as it looks behind the scenes. So there's a lot of work, there's a lot of thought process that goes into ensuring that, number one, we're continuing to build our brand out in the community, but also ensuring that we are sending out the message correctly, that to the community, to everyone, as far as us being a family-oriented business, and just ensuring that we're out there making impact. So there's a lot of thought process that goes behind the scenes. We do text, email, late at night, phone calls, if something is not right, if it doesn't feel right. But essentially everything that we do is always authentic, and that's one of the big things that we like to push and we like to emphasize as well.
See, also understanding that, you know, the way the whole business is like transitioning, right? And knowing that everything is transitioning to social media, which is cool and it's fine. I think that if people understand the power of that, and so to keep people engaged and understanding that everything is switching to social media, it sort of takes the leverage from all the big ball players, right? It takes leverage from them, and then it allows us, if we're doing things that are impactful within our communities, it allows us to have that platform to speak about it, to emphasize the things that we are doing, because a lot of times you have to be associated with a big brand in order to have this type of platform. But with our culture, what we've been able to create is a true story brand, and we create the story gaps in between that make you want to click.
I love that. I think that people really can utilize it in a positive way, and they look to people like you who are doing that on a daily basis. Guys, you don't understand, but chugging out creative content is a full-time plus job. So you've got your real estate for you, and then all of a sudden you have this whole other world that you're trying to create, and what you're creating a vision of, you're creating content based on your vision, but there's so much work that goes behind it. It's not just, hey, here I am, I'm taking a quick selfie,
Right.
and then all of a sudden I'm an influencer, or I'm making the impact that I want to make. It's not like that.
We see it though. We see that.
Yeah.
I can say one thing about
Tell
us
us.
is anything for one thing we do, we're consistent. That's the number one thing at the end of the day. You can do if you want to, but you have to be consistent. That's one thing we have been, even before I even joined. Emmitt been doing it.
Yeah.
All we did was just continue to do it and just enhance it and enhance it and enhance it. We're gonna keep on moving forward. But being consistent is the number one thing. And also being consistent with all the agents, like he said earlier, you have to identify who comes to the table, who you sit down with. And that's why he's the broker, the GM. And any GM on any different team has to identify the people on their team.
Right.
If you don't identify the people on your team, you can never elevate them to their elevate them to where they need to be, because everybody comes on a team has different roles on that team. That's why you see a lot of role players or whatnot go to different teams. They're good on one team but not good on another one, because that GM didn't identify exactly what role they play on the team. So with us, that's what Emmitt has done. We have created that culture that the people that's on our team, we identify them and we put them in the right system or put the right place behind them so they can be successful, and we can have that impact, and we can be consistent with them because it'll be consistent with the overall brand.
Because you're really, go ahead.
And also, I was going to piggyback on his point of consistency. I think sometimes people miss out on just loving people.
Yes.
When you are passionate to serve, to appreciate people, now you will always find content.
Right.
Because people are forever moving. So now, a lot of times we focus into the resources, but we don't focus on the fact that people are the source. So now, when you are passionate about helping people, impacting people, and being innovative, of course, you will always have ideas, because people is a constant movement. So and I think as far as the business, we don't just chase the resource like Emmitt is saying in terms of the numbers, but we actually focus on the sources, which are people. So
Scott, I think Scott need to speak up. He
All right,
has a lot
Scott.
to offer, honestly.
Come on, Scott.
He's sitting back there quiet.
Man, well, look here, man. I continue to big that because you guys pretty much expressed everything. I mean, just the added value of what we do. For example, I reached out to him, and he's given me somewhat of what's called a playbook to really add that impact, and it's worked and it's blossomed to so much fruition to where it's putting me in a light to where I've never would have imagined. I've expected, but a lot of times, some agents, I think they begin to believe that they are only capable of 1 to 2 or 3 lives that they can impact a year, and they fall into the numbers. But when you are passionate and you have the right mentor, you have the right playbook, you can do anything.
Anything.
And I've gained so much knowledge from just connecting with business owners, in the area, connecting with pastors, just people that need help with the credit. The thing is, we educate, not just real estate. We get into the core, credit. Where's your credit? Where's your finances? And we educate you. We hold your hand. Behind the scenes, there's a lot of hand holding.
I bet.
We
I
have
get
from
it.
the old to the young, and at the end of the day, we don't discriminate because we know somebody that's been there before. So we're very, passionate about just understanding that, hey, no matter what race, want to take it to the next step, you know, more than welcome is to reach out to us.
Comes from me.
Your entire message is about people, and what I truly loved about the entire conversation was the fact that we didn't talk about sales. I don't even know if that word even came up once, and so if you're in the world of real estate, that's normally one of the first things you hear.
Yeah.
You all consistently talked about people, community, and the impact that you make on them. So huge kudos. I think that that's what makes you different, in my opinion, on the outsider looking in. We're going to share all of CPRG's contact information, how you can reach out to Tamara, Emmitt, Scott, Roosevelt, and Tramayne. You definitely want to reach out to them. And honestly, they are open and accessible. So please, please, please take advantage of the fact that you have these wonderful people coming on here and sharing their story and being authentic with you. And if you have a question, whether it's about real estate or pretty much anything, I think people like this love to plant the seed and love to help people. You can't make that kind of feeling up. All right, so we have to quick get out, but I want you to just give me a name. I'm going to say one word, and I want you to just give a shout out. I haven't told you this yet, so don't look at me and kill me later. But I'm going to say one word, and I just want you to say a name. We're really big about gratitude here. We're big about giving credit to those people who deserve it, and a lot of times we don't speak that gratitude. So I'm going to say a name, I'm going to give you a word, and then you just give me the first name that comes to your mind. Hero. Tamara.
Emmitt Combs.
There it is. Emmitt.
Tamara Campbell. Tamara Combs.
I like it. Oh, he did Campbell. That's good. Scott.
Mom.
Mom. I love it. All right, Roosevelt.
Ruth and Valari.
Love it.
Hawaii.
Wonderful. And Tramayne.
My dad.
Love it. All right, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. Reach out to them. They are just as awesome in person as you're seeing them on the other end, and they want to help. They obviously want to make an impact in the community, and they've created an environment to do that. Thank you guys so much for trusting me and coming on the show. Appreciate it. We will see you back here in a couple of days.
Thank
Thank
Ted.
you.
You guys.